So, if you guys know me, you guys know that I grew up Christian. Um, if you guys know me, you guys may have known I've always felt things differently. Um, I've always just been intuitively inclined, thought differently, um, due to my upbringing. And I'm just jumping right in. I want you guys to really sit down and listen to this. If you really listen with a clear mind, a open mind, and a clear heart space, you will definitely receive something from this message. Um, but long story short, growing up, I would see spirits. I would always hear things and feel things. Like I felt like I had this connection, like specifically to God. I used to set up teddy bears in my mom's kitchen and have like choir, like a church service, and I used to be like the pastor preaching to my teddy bears. Like it was crazy growing up. But here nor there, we're gonna fast forward, and I received spiritual gifts, enhanced gifts, and I kept getting downloads that I was gifted. I was sent here to help the collective, but because of my religious background, it took me over a year to even start, to like start using my divination tools and so forth. If that's what you want to put, the name you want to put on it. But here nor there, we're gonna fast forward, and I'm divining now. I'm gonna let you guys know personally, I don't have any family or friends around me. I only talk to one of my uncles here and there, and my mom here and there. Other than that, it's literally just me and my son. Literally just me and my son. And that happened once I started to be here for the collective. That happened once I actually started to heal, work on myself, and try to be understanding and loving and so forth. Not saying that I don't fight off demons, right? Because the more you heal, the bigger demons you're going to have to fight off and tame. But, sorry, a text just came through my phone. But what was I just saying? Shit. Read that text and it kind of messed me up. But anywho, I don't really have anybody around me. It's what my whole purpose and what I was saying. And this happened due to me divining. And I was basically stating how I had more people around me when I was a fucked up person, excuse my language, but when I didn't care. Like I've always had this care no matter what. Even when I fought, like I could have really demolished a lot of people, but something in my heart would just stop me. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I would look and see how other people would just, do somebody else wrong, do someone in, and I'd be like, how the hell? Like, I never was a friend. I was able to like steal from my friends or look at my friends' boyfriends and want to, like, no friend of mine from my past can ever say True stole from me. True looked at my homie and tried to, at my man and was trying to do anything with my man. Like I was never that. Like I used to be just fighting wild. Like I used to always just like be messy, like where I just like wanted to see fights and wanted to fight, and but what kid wasn't, right? What person wasn't into the mess? As much as we like to say, oh, I don't like mess, I don't like drama, we be the first ones looking, trying to see who got beat up or who, looking out our windows or whatever the case may be, specifically and especially if you were brought up in the upbringing or the hoods or the neighborhoods, however you want to say it, that I was raised in, right? This is just naturally what we are used to, and it's not saying that it's okay, but here nor there, I'm just kind of rambling on, and I hope you guys are getting the right insight on me and who I was and who I am now, because who I was is not at all who I am today. So we're gonna fast forward. Spirit moved me or used a lower entity to move me to another state, and the state was Texas. When I moved to Texas, right before that, I was taken out basically in a car accident, brought back. God kicked me out and was like, hey, nah, we ain't ready for you. You got some work still to do down there. They need you down there. So I woke up in the hospital after the crash, after everything. I was unconscious. I was basically gone, and they brung me back. But here nor there. I spent 4 years in Texas, and those 4 years was a major transition within myself, for my character, just for my growth, my understanding, and, so forth. And during that time of Texas was my transition. So I was still in the clubs. I was still throwing sections and all of that. So I had my girlfriends out there. I would have my little house parties. I wasn't even out there like a year or two yet, but I'm able to throw house parties and, they're cracking. We're turned up, game nights, turned up. I was like transitioning, right? God was still transitioning me. And, it was still fights. I used to be a fighter. So, because of the energy that I carried, right? We know that the energy that we carry, we will attract those energies. So I attracted some other fighters when I moved down in Houston. Very, very, very keen souls, very good spirits. But here nor there, it switched. And I no longer wanted to drink anymore. God took alcohol from me. I bought some champagne. I did buy some champagne this New Year's, but the New Year's prior to that, I was sober, had no alcohol, like absolutely none. I don't drink. I used to drink at least a fifth a day, and that was the bare minimum. Like if I had 1/5, that was on a good day. I used to pop pills. I used to do all of this other stuff. Like I said, we used to fight. We used to clown, hang, bang, swang with my girlfriends, all that good stuff. And at that time, when I used to do all of these lower vibrational things, adultery things, I had all the friends. Everybody wanted to be around me. I was cool. My phone would ring off the hook. It was always something for me to do throughout the week, on the weekend. Like it was always, I was always on go. Well, I started to heal. I stopped drinking. So, they couldn't come over for the drinks to turn up. I slowed down on smoking. I wasn't popping pills. I used to as well pop pills here and there. I wasn't popping any type of pills or anything like that. Like God has really transitioned me. So of course my friends, slowed down on, coming over because they like, girl, where the drink at? You ain't drinking. Or they got the drink and I'm not drinking. So they like, okay, this is kind of boring. Like we drunk, true not drunk. Like, so it'll start to slow down. They asking me to go out. I'm telling them, nah, I'm going to sit in, I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to do me a ritual. My rituals is what I call cleansing. So they're cleansings. Maybe I shouldn't say rituals. I don't know, because I don't know how y'all look down at words. I'm not judgmental and stuff when it comes to words. But where I do my cleansings and I just spend time with me, my higher self, and God. And I was doing a lot of that at this time. I had me an altar build. I had built me an altar. And all of this other stuff. And I'm really growing. I'm really elevating. I'm really transitioning. And I'm really just shifting, like within my spirit. I can feel that I'm changing, like more calm, more peaceful, not really even paying, like God was raising my vibrations to the point, sneak dissing, I wouldn't even notice it because I'm in my own little la la land. Like I'm in happiness and bliss. So any weird shit going on, like, like that's where I was at. Like I was at a state of tranquility and peace. Well, now we're going to fast forward to me reading cards. Like I told you guys, I was scared for a year and a half. I'm getting dreams. I'm seeing I'm meeting all these different people that read cards. And you know, it's like I'm meeting the darker end and I'm meeting the lighter end of things. So I met this young lady named, I don't want to put any names out there, but I met a few two ladies in each two of my apartments that I stayed in during my spiritual awakening. They were more into like sigils and dark magic and all of that good stuff. And then I met some other girlfriends that wasn't into like the dark magic stuff. They were more so, you know, into just meditating, cleansing, eating healthy, and things like that. So that was my duality of understanding and learning firsthand in my spiritual journey the different type of individuals God aligned me with. Two of the ladies that I met, well, it was like, so two of them was like dark magic, really, really, really dark. The other two was dark, but not that dark. Two of them had Facebook, two of them didn't. And then there was another few ladies that was into like more light workings that I met up with throughout my journey as well. So anywho, long story short, I'm transitioning from my old friends. I'm meeting these new people, you know, associates, and you know, I'm asking different questions, doing different things, and only two out of all of the ladies that I met read cards. The rest of them didn't read cards, but they didn't read for other people. At this time of my journey, they only read for themselves. So I'm thinking like, at the beginning, like that's what the cards were for you to connect for yourself. Like it didn't expound or drift off into me using my cards to help others until I actually got my cards, if that makes sense. So I'm in a store, a spiritual store, long story short, and I hear this loud ringing, screeching noise in my ear. And what are you doing? You ask. And I hear a loud screeching noise in my ear, and that's when I was getting all these downloads. And I got the download to basically get the deck of cards. I got the Writer's Rave Tarot, and I had a friend come over. Lily and this girl named Deja. And it's crazy because neither one of them support me, but that's okay, right? We don't. But I've never taken a tarot class a day, still haven't. This is before I even like knew what each card meant or anything like that. And I'm shuffling the cards and some cards come out, but I'm not even really reading the cards. Like I'm just channeling. I just received a download. I'm just channeling. And the first girl that I read, I want to say it was Deja. The second person I read was Lily. But when I read Deja, I was just flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing. And it was like, I don't know, like it was like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like I wasn't even reading cards. I'm going back and I'm thinking about it. And I just had a whole epiphany right now while I'm recording this message. But I wish, because me and Deja, we never fell out or anything. She just, just separated. And that's my own personal, it could be a lot of different reasons, but I was just channeling. And I remember the cards being in front of me, but I was just flowing. Her message was just flowing through me. And I started to choke up. And I started to like cry. But this is me giving her message. And she looked and her eyes got big and she said, "What the freak?" But she cursed. She said, "You are good." Like she was like in disbelief. But so was I, because I've never done this before. And I'm just feeling this feeling over my body. I'm just feeling this feeling take over me. And And I think she was like so like scared. She was like confused and disbelief, like so much was going through her head. We finished up that piece that we were smoking, and she was like, I'm a go girl. I don't know if she needed to release and she was just trying to hold it back, because this is before I knew my gifts. And my gifts is to really feel how people feel and who they feel really are deeply and internally. And when I was crying, that wasn't me. That was her, if that makes sense to you guys. And she left. And I remember her texting me again. And she was just like, oh my God, girl, I just have to tell you, you are good. Like, you are really, really good. And so then some time went by. And Lily came over. Me and Lily, I don't know if I was at her house. She threw like a family gathering or something. And she came over and her mom passed away. And what was so crazy is I had another friend of mine named Ash. And I wanted to do this for her. But Spirit kept telling me to wait. I think my spirit team wanted to know like fully how she was going to feel of me, because she separated herself from me. And I know basically I'm saying all this to say like a lot of my old friends, they like felt like I was like demonic or a devil, and they all separated themselves from me. And this has literally been my chapter. Like every single time I meet somebody new, like I'm in the middle, because it's just, I'm venting right now, but I just got to kind of let this out. Like I just kind of got to release this as I was just reading my Bible. But it's like the demonic energies, all of the people out here, they out, having pointless sex before marriage, drinking, smoking, and, cursing and just doing people wrong. All of those people who I used to hang with or try to reconnect with, it's like, they're like, oh, you're demonic, or you're doing that devil witchcraft shit. Like, what? And then the people that are are spiritual, they're more on the darker end of things. Like they don't believe in God outside of them. They believe they are the God, which we do hold God energies. We are gods and goddesses, but there's a God outside of us too, that's the reason that we are even a God to begin with, or a goddess to begin with. But anywho, it's just crazy, because it's like I don't fit with them. It's like I'm like stuck in this world of understanding things that don't nobody else understand. And I still don't feel like I know everything. Like I still feel like I have so much figured out. Hence why I have my Bible open, and why we're going to get to the practices that the Lord hates. And I just want to kind of educate, and hopefully, some of my old friends that, they come by my YouTube and they watch my videos, and hopefully some of my new friends, my new tribe members, I don't have no goddamn friends, my family and tribe members, they get a better understanding of what the Bible teaches, preaches, and what was being told. It's like we have this book of information, but it's misconstrued, and we're also misconstruing the information within ourselves, right? Remember, perception is everything, in the way that we take things in. We all take things in differently, which is why, as a collective, we don't have things figured out, and we're still running after religion, and we're still running after these books for understandings and so forth. And I only go to the Bible to back up or what I feel, or to get an understanding. And I still don't rely all of my understandings on the words that's in the Bible, because I know how powerful the Bible is, yes. But I also know that things could be misconstrued and shifted just by this change of one word in a sentence. Can literally change the whole dialect of a situation or that sentence, just by taking in plugging in or taking out one word when it comes to English, or the language, right? So anywho, my feelings were just recently hurt, and this will be the last time I will ever allow another demon to come into my life and to make me feel like I'm the demon in their life, or I'm just this chaotic person, or whatever it is, and I'm a very loving, understanding person. So anytime anybody comes to me and say, oh, I did this wrong, I do this wrong, or I'm this or I'm that, I will dwell, I will sit, and I will pray, and I will go within to see my faults fully, wholeheartedly. Like, I'm not ever the person to say, nope, it's them. Nope, I don't do wrong. Like, I'm always going within me to see how I can better me, what I've done, what I can do. And I feel like this is why I'm so overstanding and understanding of what's going on in the world, the different demonic energies and how they will try to play on us and so forth. But here nor there, I just had a person basically tell me that my cards, again, has been going on for almost 2 years now, but, try to tell me what I'm doing is demonic, and, I'm going to hell, or I got these demons on me, and, I better repent, and just all type of crazy shit. And it's from people who, I say this with love, I know, like, they're out here fornicating, just doing things, people, and have not fully found their purpose. And they were sent as assignments by the devil to come into my life and to have me continue to second guess my calling and what I'm doing here for the collective and for my people. But I just want to kind of go, and I just want to educate you guys a little bit, because a lot of people, they talk about magic and, evil this and evil that, and, all of this is evil. And I just want to read the practices that the Lord hates. And this is from my children's Bible. This Bible I've had this Bible since 2000. This is my beautiful grandma's handwriting. Shirley is her name, to be exact. Now let me stop being extra. But this Bible came back to me, and what's crazy is this Bible made its way back to me when I got my superpowers, when I got my spiritual gifts. And I feel like it made its way back to me so I can really understand God's word, because God knew how powerful I am, how I've always thought outside of the collective. I've always had a decent following through all of my social media platforms. I've always had to make like tons of Facebooks. Anytime I remade a Facebook, it turned right back up. My Instagram, I don't even use Instagram like that, and tons of freaking followers on my Instagram. I don't even follow. I don't really post anything. Like, it's just, I've always been this person, right? And I've always thought differently than the rest of the world. Always. When the masses thought one way, it just never was logical for me. Even in school, history, just a lot of things. I was just very different growing up, and anybody that really knew me and were not met with the illusions of the world, they could see the difference within me. But I'm saying all this to say, God, I feel like this Bible was brought to me because God knew I was going to have a lot of people trying to talk me out of my calling, because a lot of them, where I come from a very lower vibrational background, gangbangers, girls out with their ass out, excuse my language, chi-chis out, and, they thinking it's okay, and pointless hookups, pointless having sex, and, Doing drugs, popping pills is the normal, smoking tree, taking pictures with your blunt, and all of this stuff is like the norm, family gatherings and your big pissy drunk with the kids around and stuff. Like, this is normal, they don't think anything of these things, and I didn't either, because this is what I grew up in. This was my background until 5 years ago. I kind of get sad thinking about my people and, how much they don't see or identify how we look. And I say we because I was there too, But even though I was there, I always knew that a lot of things wasn't right. I just didn't know any better. It was like I was trapped in a box that I knew I didn't belong in, but I had nowhere else to go, So now I'm out of the box, and I'm realizing that in spirituality, so many people claim to be out of a box to only put themselves from the red box to now the blue box, when we need to be out of the box completely, and we're still going from one box to the next box to the next box, and we're not breaking out of the box completely. I had a little moment, but I'm gonna jump into the practices the Lord hates. Okay, and it says, you will enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, and when you do, don't copy the practices of the nations that are there. The Lord hates those practices. Here are things you must not do. And here they go. It says, don't sacrifice your children in the fire to other gods. Don't practice any kind of evil magic at all. I want to specify, and I want to go down on this, okay? Because it specifies evil, literally evil, okay? It doesn't say magic, all in all. It specifies evil magic here, okay? It specifies evil magic there. Evil. And I'm going to get into this in just a second. But it says, don't practice any kind of evil magic at all. Don't use magic to try to explain the meaning of warnings in the sky or of any other signs. Listen. Don't take part in worshiping evil powers. Okay? Don't put spells on anyone. Don't get messages from those who have died. Don't talk to the spirits of dead. Don't get advice from the dead. The Lord, your God, hates it when anyone does those things, The nations that are in the land he's giving you practice the things he hates. So he will drive out those nations to make room for you. You must be without blame in the sight of the Lord, okay? I want to specify, all right? Or just jump into, I'm just really looking at my nails right now, you guys, and how they, yeah. I was just doing some potting, and I should have washed my hands before I opened up this goddamn Bible, planting them things. But anywho, my nails just look crazy, and it was just really throwing me off with these goddamn readings. But that's not what this is about. This is about the word, okay? And getting this word and understanding this word right now, okay? And I don't think people really understand what God means when he says magic, Okay. Because the lower energies, the lower entities, what they will do is, how many gums do I have? Okay. So anywho, it basically says here, and it's so crazy because this just backs up everything from when I first came out, from when I first started out. And I hope you guys were able to get to this part of the video. And I hope you guys were able to listen past the boringness of the beginning parts of the video, because what I'm about to explain here is about to really tie everything together in what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. Okay. When I first came out, there was a lot of Facebook groups, one of which was called The Girls Who Manifest, which is actually closed down now. And I had to be used as a reason why the group was closed down. But when you understand things spiritually, you will understand that later. But here nor there. In this group, all right, there was hundreds, it was millions. It was over millions of people in this group. And all the young ladies talked about was doing spells on men, doing love spells, doing black magic spells on people that they hate, people that did them wrong, putting people in jars and freezing things and putting things in freezers. And it never felt right in my spirit. And I tell you guys, right hand to God, I've never done a black magic or a love spell on anyone a day in my life. It's never, ever felt right in my soul. But I've had it done to me on numerous different occasions. This is why, no matter how many demonic energies the devil try to send to me, he cannot confuse me like the world. He cannot confuse me, because God has me, and I have been paying attention to my life. I have been paying attention to my journey. And I know what I'm doing is right. I know that I'm genuinely helping, and I have helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people that have came around me in the last year and a half. But as you see here, it says, don't sacrifice your children in the fire to other gods. Okay? I haven't fully gotten the download on what he means fully by that. I thought about the priest, when people give their children to be like Christian or to be baptized or whatever the other religions do with those pastors and preachers and those other, different, y'all get what I'm trying to say. They're different religions, so I can't go too deep into explaining it, because I don't really overstand it in that, that way. And I don't really, it's like a blockage on me. If I don't fully understand it, God, the Most High, won't even have me speak up on it. If y'all can't tell, like I've met with so many blockages right now. I don't know how to explain it. But anywho, so, yeah, I haven't sat down and really got into don't sacrifice your children in the fire to other gods. Okay. But the only download that came to me was the priest, as I see 33 and 44. We may need to look up master numbers 33 and master number 44. But here nor there, it also says, don't use magic to try to explain the meaning of warnings in the sky or of any other signs. Okay. So basically it's saying, don't use divination. All right. Don't use magic. Okay. Don't use different tools to try to explain the warnings God is giving you. Basically, if it's not clicking, if it's not coming to you naturally, like how these different downloads have come to me naturally, you don't need to be tapping into it. It's not for you. Okay. So many people want to know everything. And some things is not for you to know. Okay. The warnings, those that get the warnings, they will know. and they will use it effectively because God is going to make sure of which. We don't have to go outside of our way to force a message, okay? And that's what I see a lot of these card readers, a lot of these people, they do. They're forcing a message. They're looking at different things outside in this 3D world versus in the supernatural for their confirmations. And that's what we have to stop doing as well. But here nor there, it also says, don't take part in worshiping evil powers. Okay? So remember when I told you guys that the devil gives gifts too. The devil gives powers too. And this is where I tell my family, this is where I tell my collective to be mindful of the type of messages that's being given. God, the Most High, the Ascended Masters, okay, they don't give two freaks about anything drama, anything messy, anything pertaining to this 3D world. So you guys see those readers and they say little things like, oh, who the messy be after confirmation burp, excuse me. Who's the messy bee that's after you? Or who talking about you behind your back? Or who did, the elites they're only consulting with the familiar spirits, okay? It says don't get messages from those who have died, right? That's who they're getting messages from. Don't get messages from those who have died. Y'all see it? Right here, who have died, okay? Don't get messages from those who have died. I remember before I read this scripture, y'all, I literally came out a message. If anybody been following me enough, been paying attention to me enough, I literally been saying for the past 6 months, not everybody, I got a download like 6 months ago that not everybody can connect to the Ascended Masters. And I asked God, well, then how are these mother freakers, excuse my language, how are they getting messages then? Because they are getting some things that is accurate. They connected to familiar spirits. They're just connected to the dead. That's when I started coming out with the joke on my TikTok, if y'all been following me, that they connect to Auntie Pookie, Uncle John John, and Uncle Tom Tom. And a lot of them are basically putting you guys in time loops and time cycles, and you guys have not noticed it, right? It's kind of like how I just had my little saying earlier when I was saying I was in the box that I subconsciously knew I didn't belong in, but it was the only thing that I knew. So I didn't know nowhere else how to get out, where to go, where to think about. And that's basically what these so-called card readers, that so-called healers are doing to you guys. Because you guys, not like that, but a lot of you guys still have a lot to learn. You guys are going to these readers not realizing that they're just putting you in a time loop because we haven't escaped that time loop. And then when you guys meet somebody like me and I'm irritating the demons, I'm taming the demons, y'all running towards the people that you feel comfortable with, the people that's giving you what you're familiar with, the familiar spirits that's around you, that's connecting to you through these card readers who only could connect to familiar spirits. I hope this makes sense to you guys. So, no, I'm not the only real one. I'm not. But there's only a selected few of us. Out of 99 out of 100, God told me it's only 1 out of 100 readers that you guys see that's actually marked as chosen and should be doing this line of work as of right now. Some of them are chosen, but some of them have messed up by stepping into a line of work that they have not quite been ready for. We're going to get into that a little later too. But here nor there, it says don't take part in worshiping evil powers. Remember, when I first came out, I was the only one talking about dark magic, evil magic. Everybody else was trying to talk about how that's a duality, how you got to do this dark magic and this good man and all this other shit talky mushroom, excuse my language, that they were talking about. No. There's also this big guru. It's this dude. And I used to see a lot of people would go from me and they would be under his post. And what I would notice is a lot of the fakes, a lot of the ones that only connect to familiar spirits, does evil worshiping, works with sigils, and all of that dark shit, excuse my language, all of the darker practices, those are the people who I see, they go viral. And then they may have switched it up now that I've come out, because since I've come out, now I hear a lot of readers like, oh, don't do black magic. Before I came out, I didn't hear not one person ever saying don't do black magic but the Christians. That was it. But they was grouping it all in one hint. I don't care what nobody say. When I came out, I'm the only person telling you guys about astrology. Still to this day, I don't think people are starting to wake up to what I meant when I talk about astrology. But I even had people that I felt like I know they were a part of my soul tribe, but they didn't know. They turned on me, calling me stupid bees and all this other stuff. Mind you, I was sitting here to help them. But because of ego, and I don't project myself like this know-it-all. I don't project myself like the shaman that I am, right? I don't speak in those manners. I say we all the time. I put myself off of the pedestal all the time, like off of my throne. Let me not say pedestal, but my throne that is for me all the time for the collective. So it confuses people and thinking that I'm one of them when I'm not. And I remember coming out trying to explain people my download with astrology, explaining to them that astrology is very surface level. And all of the things that they go and say, the characteristics and your lifely issues and all of that you may have due to your placements of your zodiac signs and the stars and the alignments. Literally, when you could connect to God, when you really have a gift, you don't need a chart. And it's like nobody understands or understanding what I'm trying to say, which lets me know that like we're not getting it as a collective. But anywho, we're gonna jump back into it. It says, don't get messages from those who have died. Don't talk to the spirits of the dead. Don't get advice from the dead. Okay? You do not supposed to get advice from the dead. They will steer us wrong. Now, the don't talk to the spirits of the dead, the only thing with that is some people I know personally have natural gifts. And that's the difference, right? What God is saying here, okay, is don't talk to the spirits of the dead. You don't reach out to them. But if you have the gift of them to come to you, that's different. And what so many people are doing with these cards are reaching out to the dead. I don't know who else. They may feel like, oh, I'm reaching out to my ancestors. They're reaching out to the dead, the unalive. And that's a big spiritual no-no. You get what I'm saying? So Spirit is saying, okay, my bad. My son just kind of threw me off. If y'all can't tell, I just kind of just got a little left. Don't play with people's free will. That's that. Don't put spells on anyone. Don't put a spell on anyone. Right here. Don't put a spell on anyone. And if you guys don't know, that's black magic. That's cursing. That's speaking down on anyone, talking down on anyone, wishing down on anyone. Those are all spells. It says the Lord your God hates it when anyone does those things. The nations that are in the land, he's giving you practice. The nations that are in the land he's giving you practice the things he hates. So he will drive out those nations to make room for you. You must be without blame in the sight of the Lord your God. Okay, so it says here, but I found this scripture because I keep trying to find where in the Bible it speaks of tarot cards, like cards. I have yet to find anything that says anything about cards. And that's where my confusion come in. As I just looked down, it was 444. My confusion comes in with, where is everybody getting this, oh, if you shuffle cards, you're the devil. I'm just so confused. It literally specifies evil magic. It literally specifies using magic to explain meanings or warnings. It literally specifies putting a spell on someone. That's it. Where, I'm still, but when I find it, hopefully we find it. Because I'm trying to figure out where everyone is equivalent. Like, I'm going to do a shorter version to this for TikTok. But I'm just trying to figure out, where's everyone getting the whole card thing, and the cards are the devil and they're demonic. I don't know, y'all. Help me out. I love y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.